Hey everyone, it's your girl Naya, aka Princess Naya, and we are here with our podcast, Tired Ass Mum Presents Can I Shit in Peace? Yes, we're here, and I'm joined by, I call her, I don't even know if she knows I call her this, but I call her my international sister. And it's someone that's very dear to my heart. I would like everybody to welcome. If we had a studio, there'll be lots of round of applause right now. Angela Hunt, how
Hi,
are you?
how you
My God,
doing?
it's so good to hear your voice. I've known you for how long have I known you for now? Is it like nearly a decade?
I think so.
It really is. So, and okay, so for everybody listening, Angela, you know, just go and Google her name. Like, this is what I like to say. Just go and Google her. Google she, because she is like, her accolades are just phenomenal. And not only are they phenomenal, she's a wife and she is a mother. She's from my favorite part of the world, New York. And I met her by stalking her on Twitter. Please believe this is the truth. I tell you no lie. So Angela, let's jump straight in because you are a savage. And I always remember, okay, so let's fast forward to I already met you and you sacrificed some of your busy schedule to do some songwriting and stuff with me. Didn't really know me that well. Let me come and stay in your home. And you was heavily pregnant because this was like yeah, you was pregnant, like massively pregnant. So yeah, just talk to us about you, who you are, what you do, and let's jump straight in with your firstborn.
My name is Angela, like you said. I definitely had a very long run at the career first, um, before I even thought about having children. I won't get into the ages, but it was definitely long because I was scared. There was that stigma attached to it, like yo, you can't have no babies
Mhm.
or else your shit is fucked. You will not be able to work at all if you anybody even thinks you have children. But
Did you
eventually,
hear of people getting dropped from their labels as soon as they got pregnant and stuff? And there's like, who is that group? And the youngest one, no, the Braxtons.
yeah,
They had that whole storyline where Tracy got pregnant, so she weren't part of the group and stuff. So it's a real life thing. This is not made up from a woman's
not made
perspective.
up. I literally know personally. I it's so scary that I can't talk about her because she doesn't want to talk about it yet. She's not ready to
Okay.
talk about it yet. But I do know someone personally who got dropped because they got pregnant not once, not twice, but three times. And then they got dropped from a massive deal, that went on to like be very scarring for the rest of her life. She went on to raise her children and things of that nature, but it scarred her. Every time she would work with people, she would never tell them she had children.
Wow.
Like, so, and I understood that. It wasn't until she met me and she saw, like, wait a minute, she's like
Rolling
staying
with the
here
kids.
till 5 a.m. in the morning, and then she's going straight to drop kids off to school, and whatever. It's a sacrifice you just have to make. But I remember meeting this girl. This is the girl who changed my ideals on the babies and the music.
Okay.
She was extremely crass. She's one of those like artists that talk like, I really don't give a fuck about this shit. I don't care. And, I used to always look at her like, I just thought she was very artistic. But I remember one day she looked at me and she goes, you know that this is a made up world, right? And I looked at her and I was like, what do you mean? She's like, it's the made up world. Like, it's not real. We made this world up. The real world is you're going to be someone's mother, you're going to be someone's wife, you're someone's sister, cousin, friend, blah, blah, blah. That's the real world.
Oh,
This whole entertainment thing is made up. So you can't get lost in it. You have to realize that you deserve to have a family. You deserve to to live that side of life. And I just remember taking it with me and going, yeah, like she's
she's right.
right. I don't know why I got that at that time, but I did. I got it. And I wasn't afraid anymore. I wasn't afraid of, having children or thinking what could happen if I did have children. But anyway, I did meet someone and I did end up having a baby. And right before I had children, I was around someone that had children. And I remember telling them, if I had a baby, I would stay in the studio for all 9 months and I would never leave because you got to go in there and you have to like work hard.
God.
Like, shut the fuck up. You, please. It was like, bitch, you gonna be home in your bed,
but,
eating your
but
food.
saying that though, Angela, I was with you when you was pregnant and you was still beasting. You did, like, you was doing your blood pressure and you was doing everything. And I think that sometimes it's just a part of you, isn't it? And it's like where you do as much as you can and you don't put pressure on yourself to do it if it's not what your body can let you do.
Yeah, I mean, I said to myself, I have to write as much songs as I possibly can build because I don't know what's going to happen after this baby. I don't know. Am I going to have a C-section? Am I going to be bedridden? Am I going to be able to work? I don't know what's going to
A lot
happen.
of fears that set in.
So I need to stay in here. And I stayed in the studio till 3 in the morning sometimes, driving home by myself. My husband was on tour, so he was never really around. So my surrogate baby fathers were my engineers, and they would watch over me, and they would just walk me to the cars at night and make sure I was okay. And I just remember, being in there with artists smoking, and I was like, oh my God, I'm high, so that means the baby's high. Oh my goodness, like,
No, I.
but I gotta write this song, and those are some of the best songs that I've ever written to this day. And both pregnancies, I stayed in the studio all 9 months until I had contractions and they had to kick me out. And I literally had to go to the hospital from there. And if I had to do it over again, I would do it. I tell people all the time, I was like, you have to push yourself to work. You are not dead.
Yeah.
You're only pregnant. And then the real goes down when the babies come out.
Well, this is the thing, and I think that it's like you think to yourself, okay, especially I thought, right, I'm pregnant. I didn't have a good pregnancy. I hated being pregnant anyway. Then you have your baby, and then you're like, right, back to work. And it's like you want to get straight back to work, but then as time goes on, you kind of start thinking to yourself, hold on a second, this time is going, and I'm not gonna be, this baby's not gonna be this small forever. And you kind of blink and think, hey, I just put all my time and effort into work and missed so much of my own children. It's like I think women have it really difficult. There's a massive balancing act that you have to do that no one can prepare you for because everyone's journey is different and everyone's level of, feeling bad or regret is completely different. Do you know what I mean?
No one tells you that. No one tells you, everyone tells you the other stuff. Oh, get this blanket, or they tell you that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the stuff that you don't need to hear. No one tells you this balancing act of your time. No one tells you that, oh my God, yes, this baby's at home with my mom or a babysitter or whatever you have going on. But when you come home and you are tired and all you want to do is do what you did when you didn't have children, was go to sleep.
Lay down.
So all you want to do is lay down, and you have to be a mom.
It's just, yeah, and it's just that level of being able to just shut off and recharge yourself. It's just that it's not available anymore, and it kind of feels like it's never going to be available. It's like it's a really strange feeling. Like, and obviously it's amazing being a parent. I love being a mom, but at the same time, there is a level of like just you get. I think one day it just kind of hits you, and you have this like, hold on a second, like I'm responsible not only financially for this person, but if I'm sick and she's sick, then who's getting looked after? Because it's not me.
Not me. It's not me. It's like they say, I was actually blessed with children who, that when I am sick, they're just like, Mommy, are you okay? Do you need anything? Can I get you some water? Can I get you some, they're very mindful, which I'm like, God, how did I make these mindful human beings?
The universe sent them to you.
Oh my God, I'm really lucky in that aspect. But, I'm afraid of getting sick because if I go down, I've screamed at my husband in times that like, so the toilets, all these bedrooms, all these bathrooms, the living room with these massive couches. So you think these gangster fairies just come out and start cleaning stuff? You think these they just come out and they fly out and they go, oh,
I'm gonna
Angela,
fix this.
we'll wipe everything down. No one thinks about, oh, I'm going to use the bathroom and it's clean. I
Yeah,
wonder how it got that way.
yeah.
No one thinks about that. Like I'm like, and it's funny as a mother, like we think about that all the time. I'm like, no one thinks about that. No one thinks about that when they wake up in the morning. It's completely clean in the kitchen. It is spotlessly clean that you're able to have this nice
Breakfast.
palate,
Yeah,
that you start your breakfast in your day because everything is just so, no one thinks about that. And sometimes no one really cares, to be honest
But
with you.
do you think that we get in these positions because we just do everything and don't delegate the jobs to be done?
Yes,
Because if you delegate the job to be done, it doesn't get done up to your standard. So then you end up having to redo it yourself anyway. So you think, oh, do you know what? It's better that I just do it, because then it
yes,
just, do you know what I mean?
yes. Well, we have these standards, don't we? That messes us up.
Yeah,
You're not
I
doing
agree.
it fast enough. You're not going to do it. You're not going to clean it better enough. I had to learn, like, especially when the kids went virtual, like, yo, make up your bed. It's okay if the
If it's
comfort,
not accurate.
if it's not like up to Marine Army standard, you know, which is how my bed making is. Like my
Yeah,
bed
yeah.
making is like
A hotel is hotel standard.
hotel,
Hotel standard.
absolutely
Yeah.
straight hotel. And I look at them and I'm like, oh my God, they're 7 and 9. Like,
Yeah, and they're trying,
and
yeah.
they're trying and they just pull
Do
it
you know
over.
what?
And
It's funny that you even say that, because my sister-in-law, we was over there for Christmas, and she said, I'm trying this new thing. I'm trying this Zen thing. And I said, this Zen thing? She said, yes. She said, because I always do stuff because she always does like baking with the kids or making this and making that. But she's such a perfectionist. She ends up doing it all. And then they don't really get a chance because she's like, oh, no, 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 no. You're putting too much. Oh, no, 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 no.
yeah,
And
you're
then
gonna
this
make a
year,
mess.
yeah, she had this year, I watched her. She said, it doesn't matter if there's a little bit too much flour or there's a little bit less, because I ain't even eating these cakes. Let them do it. And I saw her, she stepped back, she let them mix, they cracked eggs, they made a mess. She let them, and they had fun. The cakes were not up to her normal presentation standards, but
Okay.
no one cared.
No one
Not
cares.
one person was bothered. The kids ate, everyone ate the cakes. She cleaned up like she normally would, and it was less stress for her, it's less stress for everybody. And I
Yeah.
looked at her and I thought, you know what? These are the things that we do, that we create, and it's adding extra tension to my day because no one else actually cares. It's only me.
Yeah.
So how do I curb that? Like, what is, because I don't want to live in a shithole house. I'm not going to let it
No,
go.
you have to know that moment when the kids were standing, that's the memory
Yeah,
that you just created for them. Standing in the kitchen with my mom, and she lets me crack eggs, and she let me stir it, and I was making a mess, and they're gonna remember that.
yeah,
That's the memory that's more important than no, 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 no. It's okay. It's
yeah.
okay.
You put too much red, and I wanted it to be green.
Yeah, and like all those things that we do, or just everybody come out the kitchen because it's just a no for me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Like, and that was me. I wasn't even letting anyone in because I was just about, I am the one that is going to have to do all of this after, and I
Yeah.
am tired, and I can't do this. And then I learned, well, that's no fun for them.
Yeah,
They just want to be with their mommy, and they
yeah,
just want to bake something with me, and they just want to do something with me, or you know, I had to tell them at times, look, mommy works at home and I'm taking all these business phone calls. And when you were waving your Barbie doll in my face because you want to play, I can't do that.
yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I have to.
Mhm.
I have to.
Yeah. Do you know, I think one of the good things, though, to come out of the whole lockdown pandemic situation is that everybody was forced to work with their kids. So that screaming in the background,
Yeah.
the child that busts open the door and comes into the Zoom, it became very normal. And I think something that I try with Kizzy is I just if she's going to interrupt, she's going to interrupt. And everyone who's working with me has to understand that this may happen from time to time. So if you can't put up with it, then you can't work around. You just can't be a part of this. You can't work because,
Yeah.
and then I noticed that it was me. I'm the one that was bothered. No one else actually cares. They just laugh. And
everyone would laugh. Everyone would like, as you can see, I have like a glass door, right? That slides.
yeah.
And Brooklyn would just peer through the glass. She wouldn't say anything. She wouldn't do anything. She would just stare and like right over my shoulder. And I would just be like, they would be like, you have a guest.
Yeah.
And I would just turn and I would be like,
these kids
that you give her. You'd be like, go. And you know, she'd run back. And after a while, I was just like, I just gave in. I was like, come, just sit on my lap, just sit here.
And then they end up getting bored and going back when you do that every single time.
They don't even want to stay in here. After they sit down and they hear what you're talking about, they don't even want to stay in the room anymore. But it's just funny how we have to go through all those different hoops before we realize, you're not gonna win. You are not.
It's never ending as well. It's never, you can get every system you want in place and it's actually never ending. I think this year I learned a lot about just letting go and just not being a part of it, just leaving it. I've been suffering with migraines for months, and it put me in a place where I actually physically just couldn't do stuff. So, and then I realized that, hold on a second, the whole year has gone by. I've done hardly anything I would normally do in the house. Everything's still okay. House is still standing, and the most important stuff is happening, and it's all right. That's actually okay. And I think sometimes you're put into a position of stillness, so then you can realize how to cultivate yourself when you're back on top form. Because it's tough. It is tough. But it's so rewarding at the same time. When you post pictures of the kids, I'm just like, oh my God, this is crazy, because you know what? It's wild. Like, they look like you and they look like your husband all at the same time. How is that even possible? So what advice would you give to, I think now we are in a much different day and age when it comes to children in the workplace, because, you have the likes of, I think when Cardi B had her children, she was they're just there in it. They're in the videos, in her belly in the videos. And we've kind of turned a corner. So I think it's more acceptable now, in the sense of in the public eye, it's not as frowned upon, should I say? I think Lauryn Hill's got a line in her song where she's talking about her son, and she says, they told me that, look, you've got your career. Do you really want to do this right now? And I feel like that, not only in the music industry, but across every industry when it comes to a woman, is just always overbearing in your head, like, but I want to do this first and I want to do that later. And then some women get to a stage where later is no longer an option, So what advice do you give to women who probably in their early 20s when it comes to making choices about children and careers? Like, is there a perfect time, or is it like, what would be your advice?
My advice would be, you have to know what's best for you, and not go by society standards. Um, family always should come first. And you have to go with what your gut feels and what your life deserves. Family is also very grounding in this music business, and it can also save you from a lot of heartache and a lot of pitfalls.
So
it gives you a focus, it gives you a focal point. So it's also a very good thing. It's very grounding. And in this business, you need to be grounded. And sometimes you by yourself can't just ground yourself.
You're right. Because it's like you're out here in these streets working hard. And then pre-children, you're just working hard. And now you think, what was I working hard so hard for? Who was I going to share all this stuff with?
What was I doing with? I remember coming home with my Grammy, and I was like,
and imagine the high that you get.
It's such a high. And then you already have a low if you're smart, and if you're a realist, and if you really know what's going on. You hold this Grammy and you're just like, oh my God, great. Oh my God, I just spent 20 years getting to this and now I have to do it all
All
over
over
again.
again. Yeah.
That's one realization that is like,
That it must be mind-boggling though, because it's
it's
people don't realize that.
mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's like you worked this hard to get this far, and then you say to your head, "Oh, if all I could do is this, I'd be happy." And
I'd
then
be
you get
happy.
there, and then if all I could do is this, and I'd be
Yeah,
happy. And it's then like a never-ending merry-go-round of adding things to your list. I mean, like I would think to myself that if I got a Grammy, I would have hunger to do nothing else for the rest of my life. But it's just
no,
not that true, is it?
that's not the natural human spirit. It is inspiring.
Okay,
So it inspire whatever it may not be another Grammy, but it's going to inspire you
to do
to push
something.
yourself even further.
Okay.
And so I was like, wow. But then I remember going home with many accolades and looking at all these different.
Yeah, because the plaques on your wall,
I
honestly,
can't,
like
I can't
I'm
with you.
sure I must have taken a photo in your house. The black, without
I
trying to be
can't
too
with
cringe,
you.
the plaques are
I can't.
mad. They're mad. They're crazy.
But what do you do when you come home and there's no one to share that with? There's no one to talk about that with. That was where I was. And it wasn't until I got married and I met my husband, and I actually went through the Grammy experience with him. And I remember going, oh my God, if I was alone,
How would it have been?
how would have this had been? Like it would have been just horrible. And after that, going to all events, things were different for me. And
Mhm.
then having my children, I remember going to like a Grammy event, and I had me and Alicia Keys were pregnant at the same time, and she had her baby. We both had Christmas due dates,
Okay.
and she had her baby on the 27th, and I had mine on the 30th. And then we had an event that we were both
Both
at,
good.
and she was like, "Well, how do you feel?" I was like, "I feel like crap." She she was like, "Oh my God, I can't breathe." She's like, I can't breathe either. I have this course, and we just
Oh
kind
my
of like
gosh.
sat down. From If you look at the picture of the two of us, we look miserable. Like we're smiling, but we look miserable. We both had other children. We were exhausted.
Yeah, and
We
then yes, and then it's game
literally
time.
just had children. We both just had children, both still very much swollen.
Hmm.
Should probably not even be at this event, but we're here because she's just like me. She's a worker, and that after the show, she brought Michelle Obama to the dressing room, and I just remember looking at Michelle Obama, and she was just looking at me like, "Gonna be all right.
Right.
It's gonna be all right." And I was just like, "You sure?" This shit is crazy right now. It was so many things going on, and I don't think I'll ever forget that moment. Because everyone was like, "Oh, he's gonna be the sister," and when I brought her home, he was like, "Take her back, take her back. I
I
don't want
remember, I remember you telling me that you caught him when you used to put her in the pen, you caught him running past going, nah,
yeah."
not over her head.
Smacking her, biting her. So it wasn't this dream sequence that
Synergy,
everyone
yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
going to be. And I had the kids actually were at the hotel, and I was just so happy to be away. But I'm also thinking, like, I have to sing this song. I want to pee. I'm on stage. I'm peeing every 5 minutes.
Yes, and the
But
peeing thing that no one likes to explain, that you're never going to pee the same ever again. You'll
it is
cough and almost wet yourself at every given chance.
always, it has never really stopped for me. And to be in the room at that moment, going through with somebody going through the same
Same
exact
thing.
thing.
Mhm.
She looked tired. She was very tired. And
Mm.
we both, had on a little bit of makeup, and we both had on, like, it was funny how we both had on like these outfits that were very much, I just had a baby outfits.
Okay.
So she had on the black pantsuit. So it was very like,
Yeah.
and I kind of had on like this jumpsuit, but it was very like, it I'll just never forget that moment. And going, I never want to do this again. But you move past those moments
Yeah,
and
so
you get
quickly.
better. Yeah, so quickly you move past
But
the
you know,
moment.
I think the thing that you identified in that, or the thing that I listened to and thought, you know what, it's like finding somebody else that can feel your pain at that exact moment is like a eureka, a moment, because it's
Yeah,
like, wow, I'm not alone. I'm not different. I'm not worthy. Like, because you almost think to yourself, I can't do this. And
I really
I'm not a good mum because I can't do this. And then the moment you get the cosign from someone else that highlights, girl,
yeah.
I can't do this either.
I can't do this either. I
You feel
really
like, oh my
honestly
God,
feel
yes, it's just
that God
very
sent
warming.
her. Like I
It is.
feel like it was all supposed to happen that night, and it just like we both had like it was just supposed to
To
be.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just supposed to be because I felt horrible, and I was just surrounded by a bunch of boys who were just like drinking and
Never gonna understand.
yeah, they just didn't understand that
Mhm.
my breasts were hurting, and I was like, I know the baby's crying right now because I'm just like, oh my God, there's milk everywhere. And I was like, this sucks. And I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And there's times that I've definitely was like, maybe I should just be a mom. Maybe I'm not
Yeah.
a baby.
Do you know
Maybe I'm
what?
not.
I have a friend here, she's a singer, her name's Kyla. And we had a show together. And this is before, I don't think I had Kizzy yet. No, I hadn't had her. And we're at this thing, and it's like a club performance, you know, they're not the best performances sometimes because they're just
Yeah,
very, very like the PA system could be crap,
yeah.
like it's rammed with people, you can't find the promoter. And we're in there, and I think I performed first, and then she performed, and she come off and she said, I don't want to do this anymore. She had a son. I said, what? She goes, yeah, I think it's going to be my last show. I said, but Kyla, and she said, no, I haven't got it in me anymore. And Dean was there, and Dean remembers it. He goes, I ain't got it in me anymore. I just can't do it. I just want to be at home in bed with my kid. I just don't want to be out here. And her husband like was with her. And then, yeah, she was just so like, she was just over it. And then a couple of months later, this was just, she's jacking in. A couple of months later, she got contacted by Drake's people. And they, you know, his song, One Dance, is her sample that they used. And she was like, so
Right.
basically gave up, didn't want to do music anymore. Then got this big massive remix that put her back in the put her back in the arena. And but still now she's records and stuff, but she's had a second child and she's just enjoying being a mom. Like, and she actually made the choice. And everybody has that time where you go one way or the other. And there's no like incorrect way. You either have a moment and then you bounce back and remember, do you know what? I love them kids, but I love my dreams. Or you just think, you know what, this is what I'm here for, and this is my purpose, and I'm going to fulfill that role for now until maybe something else might arise. And I think women have that extra pressure on themselves, and they find that when their children get to 18 and 19, they then think, well, what do I do? What do I do now? Because you sacrifice everything for the kids. So I
Give
think you know, you have pros and cons in both ways of doing things, I suppose.
I think I've found my balance because I don't think I'm full all mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to definitely still fill that music void.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that I still have inside of me.
Yeah, because it's a part of you. That's a part of your DNA. And it's not something that just, it doesn't get replaced by the kids. The kids are an additional string, you know? And it's like now you've been playing your guitar with all these strings. It's like now you got to learn. Like I got a couple extras. I got to
Yeah,
learn I got to learn to take care of
I gotta
them.
figure out how I'm gonna do it. And even now, like I struggle because I never had anyone watch my kids
Okay.
other than my mom. And now I'm, I'm my mom is older, and it's like, now it's the first time that we're gonna be looking into like other people. I That's when
Nannies
I
and
have
stuff.
cameras all over my house.
Okay.
It's like I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I have a little girl, and
Yeah.
I'm always
Yeah.
nervous, and I'm always like, King, watch your sister,
Yeah.
you know, watch your sister. Or I remember like they're like, oh, do you leave kids at birthdays? I'm like, no, we don't do that. No,
You know, yeah.
we don't do that. I'm staying right here.
Right here, I want to see everything.
Man over in the corner drinking beer.
Yeah,
No,
no.
no, we will not be leaving anybody here. No.
You know what? I remember and I know your mum was really pivotal in the early years with the kids. So when Kizzy was about 7 months, I lived like an hour away from my mum, and I was like, right, that's time. We're moving. Time to go. We're off.
I remember telling you, like, I was like, listen, your mom is everything. And you're very lucky to have that, because you think of strangers and you're just like, oh my God, I can't even fathom how to do that. And there's people that have to do that every day. There's women that have to do that every day.
And they have to do that. And they have to do that because it's the difference between eating and not eating, because they need to work, So the pressures that are on them are just, it's
they need to
insane.
work. My business partner is, I call her the millennial mom because she runs everything by her phone. She's like, right, guys, so I just ordered your pizza. It's there now. Listen, the Uber's there to pick you up. It's time for you to go to your classes. And she runs when she's not in the house and she's out working. When we're doing projects and stuff, she's running her household on her own. And I would be like, oh my God, I need to go to the grocery store. She's like, go to the grocery store. She's like,
there's an app for that. There's an app for that.
There's an app for this. There's an app for that. And there's an app for this. And there's an app for that. And she's just like, there's an app for everything, Angela. And it literally brought me into the 21st century. That I was just like, because I didn't want to give into it. I was like, no, I want to go to the grocery store.
I need to pick my own groceries. I don't want anyone else touching them. I need to pick the right ones. But this is part of the control freakism that we have, which makes you work 1,000 times harder. We have to learn to work smart. It's so hard to, but we have to do it. I've launched this a service over here called we're in trial stages. I've been doing it for like 3 months. It's called Tired Ass Mum Assistant. So if you can't afford like a full-time nanny, you can book a TAM assistant to come into the home. You'll have to supervise them there, but they basically do like homework. If your kids have got homework, that was one of the most popular services. Hanging out, washing, a little bit of ironing. You might be preparing dinner, but one of your kids needs you to do something, so she can take over sorting out your dinner and stuff, which has proven really, really, really useful, because as you said, looking for someone to watch your kids without you is a very daunting experience for some. But having somebody in your presence for maybe 6 months working with you, you begin to, build a relationship with them, and then you're able to leave them at a later stage. So, yeah, because it's hard. Because I can't think of, if I never had my mom, who would be watching Kizzy?
Yeah, which is what I do now. So it's this thing called Carecom. And I mean, there's just nothing. You can have someone come, I need you to pack this towel closet, take it out, repack it, do it. Or I just need you to do the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Or I just need you to do the kids' rooms. Or I just need you to do the refrigerator in the kitchen. And I can be in working with the kids with school, or I could be doing something else. And I can have someone here doing what I need them to do.
Excellent.
But I'm still here with my kids. So there's anything, and whether it's age range or the type of person that you want, background checks.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, see, there's not really much like that over here. There's a couple. They have like a thing called TaskRabbit, but that's more like a handyman that does like shelves, or you just have like a cleaner. But yeah, sometimes you just want someone in the middle, man. Like, just do like, I don't want a deep clean. I just need you to just.
Care.com is insane because you can get super specific. You can be like,
I'm gonna check it out.
I only want 55 and older. I only want 5 years experience or 10 years experience. You can name, you can get super
narrow
specific.
It down. Yeah.
There's some people that kind of only want college students.
Yeah, it's true.
So, they want to like, I specifically wanted someone who was like either like working on their nursing degree or had a nursing degree. So I had
for the vitals.
I had an EMT worker, and she was an EMT. She drove an EMT. She was an ambulance EMT. But she also did babysitting. She had 10 years experience. Yeah. So it was like, I felt like I had both.
And you know what it is? It's like the thing you highlight for me, like, it's okay to get help. I think sometimes there's this thing of, you as a mom, you got to do it all yourself, or, oh, God, nanny, really? Like, no, it's like getting yourself support so that it frees you up to do, even if it's spending that one-on-one time with your child, it makes life so much different. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, just before Christmas, I was like, when it gets to January, I'm going to get a cleaner to come in. every Friday, so that when it gets to Saturday morning, I can spend time with my daughter. Because what happens is Friday after school, she goes to one of her classes, and then we're in bath, have a dinner, go to bed. And then in the morning, laundry, doing this, tidying up, hoovering. And she's like flitting from iPad to TV to me. And there's no time. Like, so I thought that's something I'm going to do. No, it's not. It's not, you know, and then you feel like, oh man, you want me to read your book. And I'm telling you, no, like it's really tough. So even if you can't, like, obviously it's hard for people, if things are expensive, but doing it now and again is better than never doing it at all. Book yourself in a little bit of relief and just put it on your self-care list. That is self-care in itself.
Yeah, so many people, well, I included. I was like, what? I can't nobody clean my house like me.
Yeah.
Like, what you talking about? Like, are you nuts? Like, I am a Trini. Nobody bending down cleaning my toilets like me. And it's so far from the truth. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, I've had some women come in and be like, oh, like, Pink, can I call you back again? Because this is sparkling clean.
Yeah.
And just that little, okay, now I get to like sit on the couch and wait for them to come home. And, you know, I've switched up my hours. Like, I go to this, when I do go to the studio, I only go to the studio at night. So I'm here all day. So I'm able to like clean up, get things done. So anybody who has to watch them are really watching them when they go into the bed stage.
Yeah. So
And that works for me.
Me better. Yeah, I understand that as well.
So
Yeah.
when someone's walking in, they're walking in with them in their pajamas.
Yeah, and they're
And
ready to
they're
go.
probably just going to watch a little bit of TV, and then they get sent to their beds, or they're already in their beds. And that system has kind of worked out for me, because if not, you know, which we learned the hard way, because we wasn't taking any time off and we weren't like doing anything for ourselves.
Not enjoying your life.
We were not enjoying our life. We were not.
It's really weird as well when you think about it. It's like, oh, what was I doing? I had all that time, and it's just. But I think that you get tricked into the grind, you know, and I definitely think being an entrepreneur is you're not salary based. So there's a level of I can't take a day off, because what happens when I have a day off that I didn't actually want and I'm not generating capital?
That's the first thing I noticed. Like friends would say, or I would say in the beginning, it was my business partner that was like, "You have to." You would walk in her house and they would be like, piano teacher, math teacher, and I'd be like, "Who are these people?" And she was like, "The hell, I can't do this."
Yeah, no, it's the truth, and that's okay. And I think that's probably one of the massive takeaways that I would like people to get from this podcast today. It's like, you know, equipping yourself with a tribe, help, whatever you want to call it, cleaners, people that watch the kids, whatever it is. Give yourself a little bit of support in the home, even if you can afford to do it once every 3 months for yourself. It gives you a chance.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be every week. If you can't do that every week, it's fine. If you can do it once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, once a month, once every 2 months, whatever time you can allot to do that, I guarantee you, you will work a little bit harder to get that money in your account so you can do it again.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree.
Definitely worth it. So I try to explain it to like people who have never done it and who are very apprehensive to it. It's like,
no, it works.
Do
It
you
really
really want to
works.
wash your car? Really, or do you want to go to the car wash with all those little people going and scrubbing and shining, and it just comes out and your car is looking all sparkly fresh?
Yeah.
Or do you want to sit in your driveway with a
Do it
whole
yourself.
bucket, you know, with soap, trying to wash this massive car? No,
It doesn't
no.
make sense.
You want to go into the car wash. That's what you want to do. So I will go for the help. I tell people go for the help if you can. And it's so much cheaper than you think. Like outcare.com here, you're talking about, you can be so specific as in, I just need you to help the kids with their homework. Go through a high rated system where they're like $18 an hour because they have a superb background check.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that type of thing, to $10 an hour, you know, where so it just there is kind of like no excuse.
There's something for everyone. It's just that the only excuse is the fear of letting go. And I think that I hope that, yeah, mums just start to let go a little bit so that you can have a little bit of time for self. Yeah, but I do. But Angela, all I want to say is, yeah, to conclude today, you are
Yeah.
always amazingly inspiring to me. Like, and
Thank
you're very, very kind. I really appreciate everything that you have done for me in your lifetime, because you never knew me. When I stalked you, you never knew me when I stalked you on Twitter, and then randomly got brought to dinner with you and your husband and Omar. But you opened your arms to me, and you've taught me a lot of stuff that has been really, really powerful to me in my lifetime. And that's just you being the human you are. That's without you being so talented and just amazing in your career. Like, you always go from strength to strength. You never let anything hold you down, and you should be really proud of yourself for that, because it's very, very, very hard to do that as a woman anyway, but to do that as a parent and to be in the shoes of being somebody's wife as well, is all extremely, very, very taxing, that no one can ever prepare you for, but you do it with so much grace. And I'm just happy to be able to share some of your stories with some of the people that are hopefully listening. And hopefully we sprinkle some, yeah, just some safeguarding for themselves, and just get a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see all your new stuff that you got coming out.
Thank you. Thank you
Really
so
super,
much.
super, super
I
excited.
appreciate it
But
so
thank
much.
you everyone for listening. Yeah, and I'll see you soon.
Yes. Bye.